All right, so later. All right, so page 403 is going to start. We're going to go over the answers, and I want you to check your answers, and I'll work any of these as we go through them. Now, I'll remind you, this is the work that we did on Monday that I would have normally went over yesterday, but I wasn't here, so we didn't go over it. All right, so number 24, we did 24 through 38 even, correct? All right, we're going to start there. So 24 should be 12x. Just check your answer, and then we'll go back and talk about them. 26, 29w. 28, 3d. 30, x squared. 32, 4y to the 5th. 34, 0, 36, w squared, and 38, 10 n cubed. Okay, so check your answers there. Do you have any questions? All right, so let's look at number 48. Number 48, your answer is 21a plus 5. And we'll go over these after I go through and give you all the answers and you check them, okay? Well, the ones that you have questions on. 14m minus 6. 52 is a minus 2c plus 4d. And 54 is 3w to the 4th plus 4w plus 1. All right, any questions on those? All right, anybody want me to work any of those that you have questions on? Anyone? Go to page 404. We're going to be multiplying and dividing like bases. Okay? Now, everybody look on page 404 with me. All right, so if you remember prime factorization, if you have 2 squared times 3 squared, then you know that this 2 squared is written like this. 2 times 2, right?
Yes.
Okay? And then you're going to continue on to multiply this base with this exponent, which is 3 times 3 times 3. Well, it gets harder, okay? So when you multiply that across, you're actually going to get 36. Okay? Now, we're going to be doing the same thing, but with variables and exponents. Okay? We're going to be multiplying those. It's I find it to be fairly easy. Okay? So go over to the next page, which is page 405. And we'll be looking at, let's say that we have z to the 3rd power times z to the 4th power, okay? Notice that they're both in parentheses because they have exponents and they're right next to each other, so they are being multiplied. You could see it written z to the 3rd times z to the 4th, but you're going to get the same answer, which is z to the 7th. Anybody have any idea why?
You just add it?
Yeah, you're just adding the exponents. When you are multiplying a variable, which is a letter, and the exponent, you're simply adding the exponents together. It could be written like this. Z is 3 plus 4, which equals z to the 7th power. Okay?
So why can't you just do z to the 3rd power plus z to the 4th?
Because let me tell you something. If you had z to the 3rd power plus z to the 4th power, then you wouldn't do anything because they're not like terms. because you're adding. When you have like terms and you have addition and subtraction, you combine them. When they're put together like this and you're multiplying, then you add the exponents. If the variables are the same, okay? Only if the variables are the same. Stay with me, okay? Now, let's look at 10.2a. Everybody look at 10.2a with me. Okay, now look at this with me. First of all, we have x. Got to change my colors up a little bit. I don't know, I just feel like changing up. All right, so we are going to have x, well, that didn't change a thing, squared y to the 4th times y to the 3rd equals. Now, number 1, what does it say in the book to do? Okay, so what are your like bases here? You have an x, yes, y and y are your like bases. Okay, so you can go ahead and bring over x squared y, and you can write 4 plus 3 and then just rewrite your answer, x squared y to the 7th. This is your final answer. Okay, Bear is important. Make sure you're paying attention. Okay, everybody. Okay, it's not, it's you know, we're going to divide too, but we're not going to, I don't know that I'm going to divide today. We'll see how well we do. But I would definitely want to master or get a good understanding of multiplying. Yes. So, just remember, you're looking for variables that are the same, and you can only do this when you're multiplying them, okay? Only when you're multiplying, yes. Hey, Hayden, come on in. Have any of this in common, and let's say that you had x squared, y to the 4th, times z to the 3rd. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Here's your answer would be x squared, y to the 4th, z to the 3rd. That would be your answer. Okay, does that answer that? All right, I'm just going to scratch this and go to the next page. So, say that we have a w to the 5th power times w to the 3rd power. It would be w 5 plus 3, which is w to the 8th power. Okay? What if you have a to the 7th power? Better be paying attention. A times a. What would your answer be? Who said 8? Anybody? What is, there's always an invisible 1 right here. If you don't have anything there, there's an invisible 1, okay? So that would be a to 7 plus 1, which is a to the 8th power. Okay? I'm getting worried. Some of you are not paying attention.
I like what we're doing yesterday with that.
Okay, I'm getting worried. Some of you you're not paying attention. Now, I don't want to tell you that yet. No, we're going to hold off on that. Where it talks about fact, about raising a power to a power, we'll get to that later, okay? So just ignore that little middle section, okay? Now, let's practice some more multiplying here, okay? I don't know. I think we're going to stay with multiplication. So y squared times y to the 9th times y to the 4th. What would I do, Bear? It'd be y 2 plus 9 plus 4. So what's my answer, bud? Two plus 9 plus 4. 15. That's my answer. That's my answer. You're adding those together, okay? I'm going to write another one up here. Let's look at this one. Let's say we have x to the 0 power, and that is not likely, but okay. Make that a z to the 3rd power x to the 4th power, z to the 8th power. Okay? So I would write x is 0 plus what? 4. Z is 3 plus 8. So my answer is what? X to the Z to the what? 11. That's your answer.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay? So because you had a 0 here, you would not add a 1. But if there's nothing there, then there's always an invisible 1 to be used. Okay? All right. Let's try another one. Okay? Let's say we got K. And let's just say it's written like this. Times W to the 0 times K to the 3rd times K to the 2nd. What comes first? K. So you're going to start with K. So it would be it would be 1 plus what?
Plus 3 plus 2.
Plus 2 and W. Okay? So your final answer is K to the what power?
6.
W. That's your answer. Okay? Now, we could probably look at multiplying because I'm not going to use any negative exponents right now, but let's look at division, okay? So if you are dividing, let's say you have x to the 6th power divided by x to the 3rd power. If you are adding when you're multiplying, what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. You subtract them when you're dividing. You have your like base here, which is x. You take the top number and you subtract the bottom, this exponent from this exponent, or this, anyway. So it would be x to the what? 3. That's your answer. Now, it can get more difficult. If we have negative numbers, we're not going to get to negative numbers right now. We're actually doing that right now in algebra. But anyway, all right, so let's look at a few of these division here, okay? So let's say that we have, let's say that we have y to the 5th over y to the 2nd. What would I do, William? Y?
It would be, you would subtract 2 from 5 and then get y to the 2nd.
There you go. That's exactly right. All right, let's practice some of this multiplication, okay? So let's go ahead and look at page 406, okay? Let's do some of these together. You're going to do them with me in your book, and then you're going to do some on your own, okay? So page 406, let's look at number 1, okay? Number 1 is W to the 3rd power times W to the 2nd power. And what is your answer? W to the 5th, which is W3 plus 2, which equals W to the 5th. Write this in your book along with me on page 406. That's number 1.
Do you have to equals W3 plus 2, or can I just write W5?
You can do it this way. When you get into having multiple bases and multiple variables, it's easier if you do the addition like that, but you don't have to right now, okay? So now, number 2, it can also be written like this. X squared times x to the 7th. It's the same exact thing. Be x2 plus 7x is x to the 9th is your answer. Write your answer down for number 2. Okay, everybody do number 3 on your own, and then let's see what we get. Everybody do number 3 in your book, and let's see what we get. Hold on, Will. Oh, absolutely. I thought you had the answer and you wanted to share it. Okay, hold on. No, Noah, what did you get for that?
B of the 4th power.
b to the 4th power. Very good. Remember, it's b 1 plus 3 equals that 4. Good job. All right, guys, I'm going to let you do 4 through 14 right now on your own. Do them all. It's probably different, folks, than what's in your textbook, so I change things too frequently, but it's for the best. So do 4 through 14 all in your book right now.